What's going on, everybody? This is ODC, that's me, and I'm back with a action figure overview. This is my 100% opinion and comments and all the above of the entire wave of the Crime Syndicate from the New 52 Forever Evil storyline. This is the entire line of the Crime Syndicate. So basically, what DC Collectibles did here was, oh boy, I actually had to reshoot this. I started saying something and then I stopped. But basically what DC Collectibles gave us here was a different product, something that we hadn't seen really from them before, with the articulation and the sculpting and everything. Now, with that being said, I originally did a video of this overview and I just deleted it. I actually rewatched it after something happened. Now I just got this guy again. Okay. The other day I was just posing him, and this is not just this figure either. Before I get to the full overview, because this is part of the overview actually, it's part of my critiquing of this entire line. And DC Collectibles in general. I was posing this guy, and this isn't the same figure. You know, that figure is in the other room, broken. I was just posing this guy, and I wasn't even moving him around a lot. Like, I was just moving his arm from, it was sitting down here, like this, like so. And I just pulled it up, and the arm from the shoulder just snapped right off. I'm not really sure what's going on with DC Collectibles and their QC issues, or their lack of using regular non-plastic joints. I shouldn't say non-plastic, I meant to say non-clear plastic joints. I don't know why they're cutting costs like that so much. And like some of the paint applications, like I got this guy, and like his paint applications are not as good as the other one, the one that broke. So it's like you win some and then you lose some more. It's really like you're rolling the dice with these figures from DC Collectibles, and even Hasbro's doing the same thing now. And I just wanted to touch on this really quick, a quick little rant about these toy companies and their QC issues. Like, the shit is just ridiculous. Like with Hasbro, it's mostly now some of the figures aren't very, like, they're not accurate to the source material. They're kit bashing. They're reusing old molds and I understand if you're going to reuse something, but make it at least accurate. Like to the source material. If you're going to give us a look of a figure and you're going to reuse the body, like some of the bodies on here are reused, but at least they made it look accurate to the character. You know what I mean? There was new sculpting done. It's just like they're just like, oh no, we're just going to reuse these bodies and that's it. It's like these toy companies make up these excuses that they have to reuse the bodies or because it costs too much. Well, DC Collectibles, at least they give us different sculpting on everything. With Hasbro, it's like you don't get the sculpting that you hope for. And I'm not saying that about every figure, because, you know, the new Captain America figure's got new sculpting on it. It's got separate hands and stuff like that. I'm not saying everything that they're doing is wrong. What I'm saying is, for the majority of the figures that they're putting out, there are serious QC issues. There are serious paint application issues. Look at all the new X-Men box set. These are problems. Okay, and I'm going to go back to this set, because this set had just as many problems as, you know, some Hasbro sets, as the X-Men set. Okay, I wouldn't say just as many, because that X-Men set, which I have, and I'm going to do a full review on it, and an overview of each figure. I mean, this set is a little bit, I take that back. This set's a little bit better off than the other one, but there's a lot of people that have a lot of problems. I got what was it? I had to send back this Ultraman because he had 2 left arms. What is it? Strident, he just did a review of Owlman, had 2 left legs, and then the leg broke off in the middle of the review. Like, these are serious issues that need to be taken care of, because sometimes these vendors, when you call them and you keep asking them for, you know, I need a new figure because this one broke, and it just seems like, you know, the vendors are going to get sick of it eventually and be like, well, we're not going to carry you if you're going to keep giving us QC issues with your action figures. Like, eventually it's going to come to a head, and that pimple is going to fucking pop, and when it does, it's going to get all over DC Collectibles' face and all over Hasbro's face, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this shit's really starting to bother me. You know, you pay for shipping on a figure, you're paying for the figure itself, and you get not what you paid for. And I'm just trying to tell it like it is, because that's the way I see it. Now, there are a lot of bright spots to this set. You know, Johnny Quick is very well done, but I've seen him, people like Pharaoh Black's, he came with 2 left arms on him. So, I mean, it's like you really got to roll the dice when you're paying for these figures. And it's like, it's going to get to the point where people are going to be like, I'm sick of rolling the dice. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my quick little rant. But like I said, I'm going to get to the bright spots and the bad spots. Just talking about this, I'm done with my little toy company rant and rave. Sorry guys if you didn't like it. Oh well. But I wanted to say something about it because it's getting obnoxious. So anyway, talking about this set now. I talked about the QC issues with Power Ring. His arm fell off. I talked about him having 2 left arms. I had to get a new one of him as well. So I didn't have any problems with Deathstorm, and I haven't really heard anybody having a problem with Deathstorm. So as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best in the wave. With QC, paint application, everything, overall, the whole figure, I think he's probably one of the best, if not maybe the best in the wave so far. I would say maybe the next best is, I'm going to say Superwoman. I have heard some people saying she's got some serious paint application issues. I don't have that problem. I haven't had any problem with her. I think she looks absolutely fabulous. I think she looks great. Everything you could say positive about a figure. I think this Deathstorm figure and this Superwoman figure are the 2 best. Then I would say Johnny Quick is the next best. But I have heard QC issues with his arms, like I mentioned earlier. Then I would say probably it's a toss-up between these two. These two are pretty similar, but they both have QC problems. I think I like this figure a little bit more because I'm not a big fan of the face sculpt there. Something looks a little off about his face, and I can't quite pinpoint it. But obviously, I think the worst figure in the wave by far is Power Ring. If I had to go from best to worst, and he's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say he's the worst figure. I'm just saying in the wave, in this set, I think that it goes from the best to worst. It goes from him, her, him. So there you go. But other than that, I mean, I just wanted to say, oh, well, you got to include Atomica, too. See if I can get her in there. But she's basically just a statue. So, I mean, I'm not really going to hate on this. And I think it's nice that we got it. But, yeah. So, figure with the least QC problems is him and her. Then, you know, you already talked about the rest. But overall, I would say overall, since I'm doing an overview, overall, I think it's a good set to get. If you're a completist, you know, a lot of people like to say they're completists, and you want to get the entire set, Just buyer beware. These do come with QC issues, and they all have the clear plastic joints in their shoulders, their crotch. Be careful with a lot of freezing in the ab crunches. I've noticed that, and I've seen a couple that have broken at the ab crunch. So I'm just saying, buyer beware. If you want to get this set, aesthetically, it's a beautiful looking set. Mechanically, maybe not the best to get into. But like I said, haven't had any problems with him, haven't had any problems with her. Other people have had problems. I haven't heard any problems with Deathstorm, but maybe that's just me. But I'm going to wrap it up now. That's pretty much all I have to say about this set. If I were to recommend it, like I said, if you want to keep them in the box and you want to set them up with, mint on card, by all means do it, because then you won't have any QC issues if you don't take them out of the box. If you take them out of the box, I would just say be very gentle with them. So I have had a lot of problems with DC Collectibles breaking at their limbs. It seems like that's going to be a continued thing. I have cut back on some of the DC Collectibles figures that I'm going to be picking up. I'm going to be very nitpicky and scan them before I even get them. So anyway, if I had to recommend this set, I would say, like I said, buyer beware. Take a closer look at your figure before you pull them out of the package and start messing around with them, and just be gentle with these figures because they're not meant to be roughly played with. So with that being said, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this DC Collectibles New 52 Crime Syndicate overview. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope I wasn't too harsh, but and I hope I didn't annoy anybody with my little rant, but I felt like something needed to be said. So with that being said, I will take a hike. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the flip side.